The following audio dub is made with the permission of the original author Mandroid. Please support the original production by following the link in the description below. Thank you.
Day 2. Turns out having a pair of nymphomaniacal mares locked in your bathroom wasn't that hard. The sink kept them hydrated, the toilets let them shit, and they were fed every 6 hours by you throwing food inside. You could do without the screaming, though. You heard from your bathroom as if on cue.
Mous, I need help here, please.
Use the brush, Lotus. I'm sure that'll be new for you.
You could always burn the brush later.
Can you at least let me see my sister?
And spend the rest of my life hearing you complain about the horrible things you two did over that one Estrus a long time ago? No thanks.
You wanted to believe that those two were just joking all those times they had called each other pretty, but you weren't taking chances this weekend. You looked at the clock. It was close to feeding time. You considered how demeaning that probably was as you grabbed some apples from the kitchen and made your way to the bathroom Lotus was in. You paused as your hand hovered over the doorknob. Best to plan ahead. You grab your trusty Scout Titan / bludgeon and move the chair, keeping the door closed back.
Lotus, I got apples. Back away from the door and you can have some.
Okay.
Oh no, Missy, not after the stunt you pulled last night. I don't trust you. Hit your hooves against the bathtub if you're away from the door.
You heard a sigh, followed by hooves on tile. Eventually, a pair of metallic knocks resonated through the door. You opened the door and poked your head inside. Lotus looked frazzled, and the bathroom was a wreck.
Eat up.
You say as you drop off her lunch. You don't want to stick around for too long. Alright, next up was Aloe. Aloe was crafty. She had almost tricked you at early morning food time. She had actually jammed her hair in the cupboard and begged you to help take it out. It was only after you freed her that you saw her hoof moving up your leg. You noped the fuck out of there and threw in some food when you heard her asleep. You knelt down next to the bathroom door.
Aloe, you hungry in there? Aloe?
You finally got a response. So quiet, you almost feel like you imagined it.
Yeah, Mous. Come in.
You opened the door and promptly regretted it. You absolutely hated seeing Aloe like this. She was just lying on the floor of the bathtub, staring into the wall. To see the Aloe you knew, the Aloe who was so cheery even in the worst situations, the Aloe that could laugh at your darkest of jokes, the Aloe who had gone out and bought donuts for everyone just because you skipped breakfast, to be reduced to this. If your heart was still alive, you knew it would surely break.
Everything okay?
You ask, despite knowing the answer. She sighs and looks up to you. She looked miserable.
Yeah, it's just hard, Mous. Dealing with this and seeing no end in sight is really hard.
You wanted to sit down and talk her through this. You wanted to help her in some way. But you can't. This could be a trap. She could be trying to bait you into something you didn't want to do. It was exactly what you would do in her situation.
Yeah. Well, here's lunch.
You place the apples on the sink counter and rejam the door once you're out. Damn. Should you do something? Aloe looked horrible in there. You at least expected seduction with a smile, not this. Anon was always better at this sympathy stuff. You remember the last time this happened. You had just beat the piss out of some cockbiter who decided to get fresh with your sister. Anon had come along to try and reason with him, but you had gone off before he got a word out. He was still bleeding on the ground as you walked out.
You're just gonna leave him here?
You tried to explain that it was what he deserved, and to your surprise, he got right up in your face and hollered at you.
No one deserves to be left out in the dust when they're in pain.
You'd never seen him this angry, nor have you seen it since.
It's easy to just leave someone broken when they're down, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve our help. When someone is hurting, you pick them up and help them along. And then they do it when you're hurt. Ad infinitum.
That damned kid was the only thing keeping you on level some days. You search through the house for a few minutes, trying to find anything that can help Aloe. You eventually find a sports water bottle in a cabinet.
It'll do.
You poke your head back into the bathroom and see Aloe laying in the tub, her chest rising up and down in rhythm. Having dozed off, probably. You place the bottle on the counter and step out. That felt nice. Today started like any normal day, with Lotus screaming at you to come help her. You dropped off her food and went to check on Aloe. She seemed in better spirits. Your day had proceeded as normal as it could. You relaxed on your couch with your good friend Sony and let the day just melt away. At least until noon or so. You heard what sounded like machinery outside, something with wheels. You could hear flapping wings and muffled voices as well. Expecting some sort of makeshift siege by horny mares, you grabbed David and looked out the people. Well, there was a horny mare outside, but not any you usually saw. This one had an escort, and a crown.
Oh, fuck me.
Might as well nip this problem in the butt. You open the door and step out into the daylight for the first time since Estrus started.
Your Majesty, I can honestly say that you were the last mare I expected to come knocking.
Celestia turned to face you. She looked surprised. You got the jump on her. Any advantage against her you could use, and you would. She regained her composure pretty damn quickly, though.
Why, hello there, Mous. I was simply checking up on Twilight Sparkle during this difficult period and decided to pay a visit.
You don't remember seeing Twilight at your little standoff.
How is she?
Celestia got a smile you could only call proud.
My student has thought of everything once again. She has magically sealed herself in her home so that she won't cause any trouble around town.
You grunt in acknowledgement as you peek over Celestia's shoulder. She took a carriage here. Her escort looked fairly normal, save for one. He looked a bit more exhausted than the rest, and he was keeping rather close to the princess. Well now, it looks like even your glorious monarch could be brought down by the Estrus.
Tell me, Mous, are you here by yourself?
Shit, that was a trap.
What to do? Lie? Possibly.
Alright, act like you own the place. More or less. Anon is camping out through Estrus in the woods. I elected to stay here.
My. All alone here?
Shit.
Oh, just then the air was parted by a shriek wail.
Mous, damn it! Get in here! Anything you want! Just get in here now!
That yell just kind of hangs in the air for a moment as Celestia just freezes.
Well, thanks for that, Lotus. I did say more or less.
Celestia just stands there. You expected her to just say, the more the merrier. Maybe she wants privacy?
So you did.
You decided to end this conversation before she composes herself and head for the house.
Have a nice day, princess.
You get no response before you shut the door. Day 4. The effects of Estrus must be dying down. The girl seemed quieter today. Right before lunch feeding time, you bang on the wall closest to the bathrooms.
You two alright in there?
Yes, Mous, I'm fine.
Hello?
Fine here too.
Shit, they were sounding more normal. What do you do? Play it safe? Or trust your friends? Fuck.
I'm letting you two out. Don't make me regret it.
You remove the chairs and open the doors for the girls, careful to move fast. The three of you ended up standing in the hallway where it all started. Aloe and Lotus hugged each other as soon as they were reunited.
Oh.
They both looked haggard, but they weren't making any movements towards you.
So, everything good? Are you two back to normal?
Yes, I'd say the worst of it is over. I feel much better.
Good. Then it's over.
You head for the living room and really relax for the first time in 4 days. The girls come to join you on the couch.
Mous, I don't know what to say. Nobody has ever done something like that before for us. Thank you.
Didn't I just hold you two hostage for half a week? Where I come from, people go to jail for that.
Lotus shakes her head as Aloe speaks up.
Extra season messes with ponies' heads. Some of us do really stupid things to try and take the edge off.
She trailed off and broke eye contact there.
Couldn't let you two loose around town and wind up doing something stupid. I've had my fill of being called a deviant just for working at a spa, thanks.
You really hadn't, but it seemed like the right thing to say. You lean your head back as you see Aloe and Lotus exchange glances, in some sort of silent twin conversation. Eventually, Lotus nods and turns back to you.
Mous, you remember when we said that ponies make stupid mistakes during Estrus season?
That was like a minute ago. Yes. You just nod.
And remember how we were both offering ourselves to you together?
Yes. You wish you didn't, but yes, you nod in affirmation.
There may have been some correlation between the two.
Okay, this sounds like a story. I'm all ears.
This can't be easy. Best let them take their time. Lotus shuffles in her seat.
It was our first Estrus away from our parents. Estrus is different in Stalliongrad. The air is so cold that the pheromones that set off our mating cycle hardly gets through. You can imagine how hard the Estrus effect hit us when we were outside where the pheromones could affect us.
Aloe and Lotus both stop talking and direct their eyes at the floor.
So, what happened?
Aloe and Lotus both look at you, a far-off look in their eyes.
We met a man on the outskirts of Hoofington. He said he could help us. We went with him to a small campground with others like us who were having trouble with the Estrus. The intention was to rally together to get our way through the Estrus together.
Sounds familiar. We had camps like that back on Earth. They didn't really work out too well.
It seems our worlds shared something in common. One particularly difficult night, we had gone back to our room after a group meeting.
She looked like she was about to cry.
We had been the hardest hit by the Estrus. It was the hardest thing either of us had ever done before. As the stress mounted through the whole night, we began to feel we could only rely on each other to get through it, and it just kind of happened.
Both of them were on the verge of tears.
We woke up on the floor of our room. Neither of us could remember the previous night, and the effects of the Estrus had passed.
Both of them had tears in their eyes. Well, shit. What do you do? Fuck, they're crying. You find yourself getting off the couch. Okay, now you're kneeling in front of them. Okay, and now you're hugging them?
Mous? What are you?
Are you two okay?
Yes, thank you, Mous. Yeah, thanks.
You pull away from the two of them.
No problem.
You should probably try and lighten the mood. It's pretty shitty in here right now.
Hey, you guys want some food? We can put on a movie and make a day out of it.
That sounds like a great idea, Mous.
You head to the kitchen and grab some fruit you had left. You threw them a couple of apples and turned on the TV.
Eat up.
You sit down on the couch next to them as the movie starts. Aloe grabs a nearby pillow and Lotus lies down on your lap. That's, a little bit weird, but okay. Emotional moment and all. The movie started, finally, signaling the end of Estrus.